talking about early stage startups, who are beginning to architect their systems. So you talked about the challenges, but to make a good sound architectural decision, what factors should they keep in mind to overcome these challenges from the beginning, maybe?
Excellent question, Arjun. So there are certain key components of this entire data ecosystem, right? We have sources on one side, then we have this pipeline to bring in the data, then we have a uh, a source in or a target in which we are unifying, in which we are first of all dumping all this data, cleaning it, making it usable for our data scientists, right?
Right.
And generally the best practice here is to do reverse engineering, right? We need to have our use cases in mind, that what's our end goal, what problem are we trying to solve. Is it let's say real time fraud detection? Am I creating my an entire business understanding dashboard, how much business I am doing, what's the revenue, and these standard reports which are there. On top of that, am I opening the system to the entire team to do self-service analysis? They would like, each of the vertical there in my team would like to understand how their team is doing in terms of business. Or is it towards let's say my use cases like fraud detection, right? Or churn predictions, like I mentioned earlier. So am I doing predictions there, right? So based on those use cases, we start creating a schema that this is the data which we require, right?
Okay.
Because as they say, any AI/ML model is as good as the data which we have, right? So the cleaner the data, and couple of key properties of a data warehouse, which is the center part of this ecosystem, is it should have a lot of variety of data, right? If I'm going to a library and there is only a book related to, let's say, fiction, I don't like fiction, I would like to read about other stuff, I may not go to that library again. Right? So if people are not able to find answers to their question into this source, they may not come back again. And a
True.
lot of investments have gone bad because a data warehouse was created but was not being used, right?
Okay.
So we need to have a good schema based on what use cases we are trying to solve. And that schema will have data coming in from my sources, multiple sources which we have. And as a data engineer, my job would be to not only just dump the data, but do the appropriate transformations, cleaning, apply, let's say I want to do aggregations on top of certain columns of a table, and then have a aggregated view provided to my business, and so on. So just to summarize, start with reverse engineering, have use cases in mind, our schemas in the warehouse, we call it as star schemas, snowflake schemas, and so on. A lot of things come into
Okay.
picture. Those things are the key. And then as a data engineer, I provide all the data to my analytics team to create those schemas and aggregations and other things, which would then be used by my applications.
Makes sense, absolutely, Prashant. So the key is to really understand what you're building, right? And what is the output that you want finally and long term as a
Absolutely.
product. Yeah. So, okay. So on that note, we have our first poll coming up for all of you. Please do take a moment to answer it. So here we are talking about different stages. We want to understand which stage of the data pipeline was or is most complex to build in your teams. Prashant, any insights here? What do you think, in your experience, out of these stages, has been most complex in companies?
I think if the variety of data sources is we have a significant variety of data sources, then ingestion could be a problem because we might need multiple tools.
Okay.
For batch, we may have a different set of mechanism. For streaming, we may have a different set of uh, pipeline, and so on.